Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. So for today we'll be taking multiplication of decimal numbers. That's the topic we are into now. And then for today's class we'll look at multiplication of decimal numbers by 0, 1 and powers of 10. Let's quickly run through the keynotes. Number 1, when a decimal number is multiplied by 0, the result is 0. I think that was the same thing we mentioned when we talked about whole numbers. Any number multiplied by 0 is 0. Number 2, when a decimal number is multiplied by 1, the result is that same number. That was the same principle for whole numbers. Any number that is multiplied by 1, the result will be that same number. And number 3, when a decimal number is multiplied by a power of 10, you shift the decimal point to the right depending on the number of zeros in the power of 10. We'll have a better understanding of that when we start taking the examples. So when a decimal number is multiplied by 10, shift the decimal point of that number depending on the number of zeros you have in the power of 10. I think we did something like this when we talked about um, decimal fractions. So let's move to the examples. Number 1, 6.75 times 0, 6.75 times 0. Anything times 0 is 0, so our result will be 0. Number 2, 827.9 times 1. Our answer here will be any number times 1 will be that same number. So that will give us 827.9. Move to number 3, 2.75 times 100. 2.75 times 100. Now, what was the principle? The principle say when you are multiplying a decimal number by a power of 10, shift the decimal point of that number to the right depending on the number of zeros. So we have 2 zeros in the power of 10. So we shift 2 times 1, 2. 1, 2. So our point is now at the end here. Our point is now at the end here. So that means we are having something like 275 points. You can call it point 0, which is the same thing as 275. Number 4, 0.8127 times 100. So let's see, 0.8127. How many times do we shift this? 2 times. That will give us 1, 2. So this is where our point is now. Remember what we are actually doing is we are shifting the decimal point. So that will give us 81.27. 81.27. Okay, number 5, 773.1 times 1000, and that will give us 773. Okay, let's see how many times do we shift. 3 times because we have 3 zeros here, and that will give us 1, 2, 3. So the point is at the end, and so that means we have to, these spaces we have to put 0, and our point is at the end. So point at the end can be ignored. That will give us 773,100, and that becomes our answer. And then the final example, 0.0093 times 10. This will be equal to 0.0093. So we have just 1 0 to shift. So that will give us, sorry about that. So our point will be here now. So that will make it become 0, 0, 0.093. Remember, this is the whole number part. So this whole number part, 00 is the same thing as saying 0.093. Okay, and that brings us to the end of our examples. So please take note, when you are multiplying by powers of 10, you shift the decimal point to the right depending on the number of zeros. Multiplication, shift it to the right depending on the number of zeros you have. Okay, so you have some activities here. Please do well to go through them one by one. Now, this makes your job easy. We don't need to waste time when multiplying by powers of 10. That is why these easy methods come, so that you just easily know how to shift and get your answer. Thank you for watching this video. I believe it was very helpful for you. Please do well to like, to subscribe, and also share to others. Thank you, and see you in our next video.